Thank you. Perfect. Okay, I can start. Thank you, Gina. I will share my video. Okay, can you see, Gina, everything?
Yes, perfect, beautiful.
Yes, perfect. Okay. But first of all, Happy New Year to all of you. And thank you, Ginat. I'm truly honored to be with you on the 1st of January, and honored to be with so many amazing, important teachers who have also been a source of inspiration for me. And I want to thank you, all the audience who is watching me now, for being here with us on this day. Thank you very much. I will introduce myself. And just 1 second, because I know, okay, oops, it doesn't work. Okay, perfect. Okay, now I understand how it works, because it's a new system. Okay, my name is Alessia Lupini, and as you can hear, I'm from Italy, and I live in Tuscany. I have worked in the tourism field industry for more than 20 years. My family owned a hotel, and I grew up around food and people of all around the world. In 2009, I left everything, and after a deep crisis, very, very deep, I met microbiotics, and I flew immediately to America, to Beckett, to attend the Cushy Institute. And I graduated from the Cushy Institute. Later on, I studied with Giuseppe De Francesco in Italy, who was a student of Michio Cushy, and then at La Sanagola in Milano with Haltrey. Oops, there is, okay, where I graduated at La Sanagola, and as a guide in food therapy. But my relationship with food was not healthy, and I decided to embark on a path of mindful eating to heal my relationship and to become aware of my mechanism about the food. And so I graduated as mindful teacher too. In 2014, I met numerology, and it was love at first glance. I studied with several teachers. And then I met also tarology, who is a tool for helping, growing, and introspection. And I became a senior tarologist at the Tarot Academy in Milano. This is my short story. I want to, just one sec, okay. But before we start, I will make you a presentation about numerology. But before we start, since this presentation will be interactive, I invite you already to take 2 sheets of paper and a pen and to keep them available. We will need one to do the personal year calculation and the other to create a table. So I will give you a few seconds to take the 2 sheets of paper and the pen. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. Numerology is a powerful tool for growth and evolution, which helps us to learn more about ourselves, others, our talents, our challenges, our strengths, our weaknesses, our potential, and our limitation. In addition, we can know our life path number, personal cycles, and personal year, therefore, where we are and what lesson we want to learn. There are many different kinds of numerology: Vedic, Chaldean, Chinese, Kabbalistic, Pythagorean. I immediately resonated with Pythagorean numerology, and it is this that I will talk about you today. In addition to the date of birth, Pythagorean numerology also involves the analysis of the name and surname that are assigned at birth. The first and last name are then translated into numbers to form the 3 basic numbers of the numerological map. For those who have studied the 9-star key, the meaning of a number is different. So I please you to open up to something new, which is very simple and very interesting too, and to compare the two systems later and to make your evaluation. Numbers are really everywhere. Numerology is obviously based on numbers. This discipline deals with the quality and the energy of numbers, unlike mathematics, which deals with the quantitative aspect. According to Pythagorean, everything in nature is linked to mathematics and therefore to numbers. For Pythagoras, numbers are the language of God, and numbers are related to archetypes, and they describe the reality.
Say that again. Numbers are the what of God?
The language of God.
The language of God.
Language
wow.
of God, yes. And they are related to archetypes and they describe the reality. And of course, numbers have a polarity, though they all have both a light and a shadow appearance, just like the Tao with yin and yang polarity. It's like a coin with the front and the back. And as we know in macrobiotic, bigger the front, bigger the back. And before going ahead, if there is any question, please write down in the chat, and I'll try to answer at the end of the webinar. What will be the theme of your year 2023? Let's find it together. So today we will talk about the energy trend of your personal year related to the 2023. That starts today. We will talk about the energy that moves this year during your personal year. How does it work? Each of us, for the duration of our lives, goes through continuous cycles of 9 years. Each cycle has an evolution from number 1 to number 9. Each year corresponds to a number. It starts with the number 1, and then with the number 2, and then with the 3, and so on. When you get to the 9, the following year, you start again with the number 1. It's very simple. Each cycle has a particular evolutionary significance that is distinguished by the opportunities provided and the lesson to be learned during that period. Each year has its own characteristics, as symbolized by the number itself. Personal year 1 has all the qualities of number 1, just as personal year 2 has all the peculiarities of the corresponding archetypes. So we are going to discover them together. Every year produces a new vibration with the predictable characteristics, probable events or trends. The universe, therefore, gives us a rhythm to follow. Anne Perry, a famous numerologist, which was also my teacher, has created this useful map that explains the trend of the cycle of the year from 1 to 9. The cycle includes a year of expansions, year of contraction, year of movement, year of rest, in a flow of energies that are renewed and rebalanced. And I want to thank you, Anne Perry, who developed this scheme that represents the night cycle very well and gave me many tips and suggestions about it. So Felicia Bender, another famous numerologist who was also my teacher, said that knowing your personal life cycle or your personal year is a bit like knowing the theme of the party you have been invited to. Knowing it allows you to go to the party prepared, well-dressed, and with the right dress. Okay. Knowing it allows us to go with the flow and not against the flow. But how do we calculate our personal year? I decided for this presentation to apply the simplest, most straightforward and clearest method for everyone on this occasion. I will avoid talking about master numbers or compound numbers to avoid complicating things. I invite everyone to calculate your own number as in the following example. You could calculate them also for your partner or family, for example, for a family member. And as before, if you have any doubts, you can ask me a question at the end or listen again the video that will be recorded. So First of all, we will need to consider the universal year number. For all of us, is now, today, is 2023. You cannot calculate your own personal year without it. Your personal year number is a number that comes from the universal year, the current year, for example, plus your own day of birth and month of birth. But let's see some examples. For example, this person is born on day 15 in December, which is on the calendar under the number 12, and the current year is 2023. So we will add all the number from 15, 12, 2023. So 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3. And we have result is 12. The sum is 12. In numerology, everything is reduced to one single digit number from 1 to 1, from 1 to 9. So then we add 1 plus 2 again, and we get the 3. So the personal year for that person this year will be under the number 3. But let's do another example. This person is born on day 29 and in October, which is a 10 on the calendar, and the current year is 2023. So we'll do the sum, 2 plus 9 plus 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3. We have 19, but we must reduce everything to one single digit number. So we make again 1 plus 9, and it's 10. And we reduce again to one single digit number. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So the personal year of this person will be under the number 1. A third example, so we are sure that everybody gets it, understand. And this person is born on day 23 in August, which is the 8th, and the current year is 2023. So the addition is 2 plus 3 plus 0 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 is 20. And we reduce everything to one single digit number. So 2 plus 0 is 2. And for this person, the personal year is under the number 2. Now, I give you a minute to calculate your personal year. Maybe you already did it. And remember, you have to consider the day where you were born, the month where you were born, and the current year. So, and reduce everything to one single digit as we did before. I hope it is clear. Ginat, is everything clear for you?
Yeah, so far no questions. Looks good.
Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Thank you. So now we have two different schools of thoughts about in numerology on when the influence of the number begins and ends during the year. Let's see together. One school starts the personal year from the beginning of the year until the end of the year, from the 1st of January until the 31st of December. Another school starts from the day of the birthday until the birthday of the following year. But which one to choose? Okay, the most simple and logical solution is that we have to calculate the current personal year. We must refer to the current year and not to the date of our birthday. However, I've noticed that people born, for example, toward the ends of the year in October, November, December, lag behind in the schedule than those born in January, February, who feel the energy of the personal year number almost immediately. But this is important. For everyone, the energy of the personal year intensifies around the time of one's birthday. So the peak is on the time of the birthday. For those who are particularly sensitive, the energies of the following year can already begin to feel from October and November of the current year. Moreover, the change at the beginning of the year is not so automatic. It's not that on the 1st of January at 0001, the number is immediately triggered. So the energy of the previous year could still feel even in January, February, March, April, in a sort of wave of energy that enter, merge, and give each other the change. I invite you to observe these flows of number and energy within you and validate them by your experience. But very simple, now we will calculate the personal year for the 1st of January to 31st December, but aware of these flows of energies. No, what's happened? Oops, just 1 second. Oops, sorry. Just 1 sec. I cannot go. Sorry, just 1 second. I interrupt a little because I cannot go back. Okay. So, okay, we start again. Sorry, it's this new system. Okay, as I told you, we will calculate the personal year from the 1st of January to 31st December, but aware of these flows of energy. So what's your personal year number? At this point, I think you calculated your personal year number, and each one of us know our number. Knowing the number is a powerful tool of awareness to know the theme of the year or the theme of the party, as Felicia said, which can also be used for family members or acquaintance or at work with your partner, co-workers, to better understand their lives, their challenges, their difficult moment. And but what have been your personal year in the past? Let's take a step back. Now you can take the second sheet of the paper I ask you to bring, so you can take the other sheet of paper and draw a chart like this, or as it's most comfortable and simple for you, a chart you want, but the idea is this one. I invite you to make 4 vertical columns, maybe 2 smaller and 2 bigger, and 9 horizontal rows. In the column so 4 vertical column and 9 horizontal row, like this one. In the column at the beginning, you mark the year of last year, 2022. So in the first, you mark the year 2022. Next to it, in the second column, you can mark what your personal year was on the numerology level in the year 2022. The calculation is very simple because it is 1 year ago, so 1 year back, so 1 year down. So if your personal year this year in 2023 that we already calculated together is a 4, last year was a 3. If your personal year this year in 2023 is a 8, last year was a 7. If your personal year this year in 2023 is a 1, last year was a 9. Remember, cycle goes from 1 to 9. So when you get to the 9, you start over with the number 1. And I invite you to do this calculation for each past year, each time subtracting a number 1. So as you see, in 2022, in this example, the personal year was under the number 9. In 2021, under the number 8. 2020 under the number 7, 2019 and 6, and so on. So you will have the chart of your all 9 years going in the past. And you wrote the personal here and close next to the personal here at the numerological level, there will be space to mark the keywords that I will tell you as I make the presentation. Here, for example, I wrote closure of a cycle because one of the keywords of the 9 is closure of a cycle. And next to it, you can write what happened in that year. For example, this is my example. I closed a cycle because I moved from Lombardia to Tuscany. Why I'm telling you this? Because to check if what happened in the past matches what I will tell you, and to immediately begin to become aware of the past years, their lessons, their challenges, the opportunities that have brought to you, to start with 2023 with more clarity and perhaps even with more serenity or with more understandings. It could be a great tool for awareness. And I will be very grateful if you will share with all of us the matches you found. And Ginat will read all the shares at the end of the presentation on the chat. I ask you to read it, Ginat. Thank you. But we will explore in a little while the opportunities for growth and evolution and the challenges that a given number brings. But first, a proper node must be made. The personal year should be compared with the other number of one's numerological profile. So personal analysis may be necessary to ensure greater accuracy. But let's start the journey from number 1 to number 9. For each number, I will ask you if you had any confirmation and to briefly recount what you observed. I ask you on a written and very short share on the chat for each number and to indicate the number you are referring to. For example, in the year 2, I met my soulmate, for example. And I ask Ginat to read all the shares at the end of the presentation on the chat. So let's start with number 1. What it means to be under the influence of number 1. Number 1 is related to new beginnings. One is the first issue, and this has to do with the beginning. It is the beginning of a new cycle, so the creation of something that did not exist before. What starts this year will affect the next 9 years. So year 1 is a year of new beginnings, suitable for setting new goals and strategies. And so new beginnings, new life, new job, new home, new car. My partner, for example, in a year 1, changed house, changed a car, and launched himself with his business and his original and creative ideas. In fact, the number 1 is correspond to the creative and original ideas, imagination, vision, innovation, inspiration. The number 1 is also related to courage and strength. A year when you can feel the strength and the courage grow within you. The courage to take initiative. It's an energy to act. We are supported with so much energy to act. And the year 8, 9, and 1 are numerologically the most demanding and requiring more energy. It's a year to take the courage to take the first step in the direction you dream of. Maybe you leave your family of origin or go to live alone or with your partner, but you have to start businesses only if you have evaluated them very well and that you can complete. It's a year to exercise self-discipline. And the one, you could also have the courage to get out of the box from the collective thoughts and take a new path, because the one also corresponds to the pioneer archetype. And another keyword is leadership, career, a year to focus on works and activities that involve some kind of leadership, and to be guided to others. The 1 year is related to independence, to be independent, to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. It's I, the individual in foreground with the independent actions. The 1 is a year of sowing, planting seeds for the future, sowing a project. There can also be thinking about the child, for example. And what is sown in the year 1 is intended to last a long time. For sure, you will have more focus and clarity about your goals. By teacher Guido Rossetti compared the 1 to the vision of the eagle. But let's see the challenges related to this number, the number 1. The energy of the 1 is fast, impulsive, and sometimes mistakes could be made due to the hasty consideration of details or overconfidence. There could be hyperactivity, exaggeration, overextension, and excesses. It's good to avoid rash promises. And because the 1 is fast, there could be impatience because of this fast energy. And the 1 could bring an excess of pride, arrogance, aggression, and mental rigidity, especially for those who already have this number on the chart. Balance is about balancing the ego. The 1 is the number connected to the me, the I, and so the ego. The 1 asks us to work on assertive communication, overcoming the 2 opposite poles, communicate one's thought in a balanced way without aggression and anger, or without being in silence, submissiveness, and with consequent frustration. The 1 could, as opposed to audacity, bring fear, and fear to act, and fear of failure, and insecurity. But the 1 invites you to believe in your ideas and to make that step. And if you haven't done yet before, I ask you to share and to put it in the chat, and we will read it at the end of the presentation. And please remember to write down in the year 1, I ... So we can relate your sharing to the personal here. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the number 2. So I ask you on a written and very short share also about the number 2 when we finish the number 2. We'll go to the transition. We have the transition from 1 to 2. And what happened? In number 1, there was a lot of action, a lot of doing, a lot of movement, new start. Year 2 will be a year with lower resting energy. To recover from the fatigue of the last 3 years, you remember 8, 9, 1, and to take care of the details of what have been sown on the year 1. Year 1 was all about me. Year 2, as the number says, provides at least 2 people. So this year focus will be on relationships. We instead I. The 2 is 1 plus 1. So the 2 is a year of relationship, sensitivity, and cooperation. The seed planted in the 2 is incubating. Now the seed sleeps in the heart, and it's time not to force situation. We need time and patience. It's number 2 is time to slow down, to pause, time to heal and pamper yourself, to stay in feeling. It's divine time to rest and recover. It's not a time to force things, so hero slowness to recover the energy of the previous year and allow you to enter refreshed and regenerated in year 3, which is decidedly more eventful. So the focus will be on love and relationship, friend, partners, parents, mom. The mother is also related to the archetype of the number 2. One-to-one relationship, focusing more on close friends and not on groups, because it's time for intimacy. In 1 year to cooperate, and for collaboration with partner at work. It's good for teamwork. We help each other, we enhance our talents together. And it's a good year to develop mediation and diplomacy. For listening time and to increase your empathy. It could be a time of high sensitivity, emotionally sensitive, and time to increase your culture because you are more receptive. But let's see the challenges that this number brings. There could be excess sensitivity, and it's important do not load yourself with all the emotion of the world. Do not carry all the emotion of the world. And it is possible that you give too much or nothing. And so if you give too much, you could feel like a doormat. And so it's necessary to clarify emotions and to define emotional boundaries. The 2 could bring also dependency love, a year to reflect on whether you are together for real love or for fear or for addiction. There may be a fear of getting out of the protected nest and to stay hidden, or could bring an excess of shyness. So I remember you to share on the chat about the number 2. So you can share your experiences about the number 2. We will read it at the end. So let's go to number 3 and the transition from 2 to 3. In the year 2, you may not have been interested in group dynamics. In number 3, instead, you return among the people. It is a number connected to sociability and friend. Your energy is returning, and this is usually an optimistic and busy year, but let's see in detail. So the 3 is a year of creativity, motivation, inspiration. So the sprouts come out of the earth and there is expansion of horizons. You go out of the shell and be in the company of people. 3, it's about communication. So it's time to start to express yourself. The keywords are communication and creativity, creative expression. It's time to find your own voice, to express your ideas, to express your emotion in truth. It's a good time to promote yourself through social media and communicate with friends and family and share your ideas. It's time to express yourself through theater, for example. You may start a theater class or a course in storytelling in public or a comedy class, or you might want to go more often to the theater. And then you can also express yourself through writing. Maybe you could write that book or complete that manuscript you had in the drawer for a long time. Or you can speak to an audience or start doing podcasts or reading in social media. It's a year to find your voice. Maybe you could be more playful and have more desire to play, to have fun. And you could have the courage to show part of yourself. Maybe it's good years also to change the look. You can feel it. You can feel a need to change maybe the look, new makeup, new haircut, to revive your color. It's a period where optimism is ignited and the light is seen. And maybe you want to play down certain situation and the sense of humor is accentuated. But let's see the challenges related to number 3. So there could be a tendency to procrastinate because of the many things you follow. Carried away by the impulse to cheerfulness and fun, one could forget about everything else. The 3 is an energy that can bring acts of lightness and superficiality, and then regret certain choices later. There could be loss of focus for the many ideas or activities. There could be also a lot of ups and downs, like hyper-excitement followed by a low mood. And because the 3 is the number of perfectionism, you could be too critical of yourself and others, and have a fear of criticism. The word for the number 3 is very important. So sincere and honest communication will be rewarded, and beware of gossip. And beware also of lies, and beware of the mask that could be worn to avoid confrontation and criticism, tending to conform yourself. So it could be helpful to observe and to watch your words and express your truth. So if you haven't done before, please share what you discovered about your number 3. And let's go to number 4. So the transition from number 3 to 4. In the year 3, we socialized, we went to the theater, we met many friends, we probably had fun, we expressed our creativity. Now, number 4 requires us to back to work and be more focused and build something, to create stability, to have order, to be concrete, to have a direction and a program. And year 4 is a year of hard work, discipline, and concrete foundation. It's a year to consolidate what came out in year 3. And for work, there is commitment to achieve long-term goals, concreteness, shaping, realizing, building, a year to shape ideas. A year of construction, maybe you have to build your house. And day by day, you plan what to do. It's tidy, organize, reorganize. It's a year of discipline, to strengthen your own discipline, and you could be super focused. And you could need to be more regular and manage your time. So it's time to plan and organize to make your life productive and satisfying. And to act step by step. There is commitment to realize. And it's also a rooting phase to lay out the foundation. It's a year of production and construction of the foundation. There could be need for security. The focus will be on security also, on saving, and focus on money. And family, and focus on family. You could have the need to solve certain family problems at the root, because we are talking about roots. Many people I met in year 4 did family constellation works in order to heal their roots. The family constellation is the work conceived by the German psychotherapist Bert Hellinger, and is a therapeutic approach designed to help reveal the hidden dynamics in a family and heal the relationship between the family members. So the focus in the year 4 could be also on the home and on relations. The challenges related to the number 4. Let's see. The 4 is a number that could create obstacles, standing blocked in sensation. So there could be the possibility of being too focused on limits, like time, money, energy, and therefore feeling stationary and blocked. But instead, it's helpful to focus on everything that works. Number 4 leads one to have patience and to persevere if what one intends to do is a desire of heart. There could be also fear about money and not having enough money, and therefore the tendency to keep it. It is certainly a year focused on saving or on prudent and well-thought purchases. And because of a lot of work that the number 4 brings, there could be also exhaustion and tiredness. And there could be also body stiffness, but also a rigid thought, like a limited point of view. And you may need, therefore, to take care of your body. So you can share on the chat what you saw about the number 4. So let's go to number 5 and the transition for 4 from 4 to 5. Year 4 was all home, work, dedication, discipline. And now in 5, it's vacation time. Year 5 brings openness and change. You may feel a great desire for freedom and a feel strong urge to experiment with new routes and travel. And to do this, you may need to face your fear for sure. A year 5 is a year of change, freedom, and unpredictability. So, freedom and adventure, expansion and progress. And you could welcome the new and new things you have never done and you would like to try, like crazy things you want to do at least once in your life. It's a year of adventure, discover. The 5 is related to travel and to broaden your horizons. It's about breaking up an old-fashioned map. The shells of old habits are broken, and those who open the mind are rewarded. The 5 is about change and flexibility, because you have to learn to be flexible and adaptable, and to embrace uncertainty and find new solutions. It's time to face your fears and be open and receptive to changes. Don't look for control or event, but how to respond and flow like a surfer, because the 5 is related to the explorer archetype, and you are breaking old patterns and entering a new vision. So the 5, you could feel driven to free from certain situation of constraint and to get out. It's an evolutionary liberation. And so there should be a courage to dare. The 5, it's all about communication, because the number 5 is in the center of the grid and connects all the numbers. Communication is very important. The 5 is suitable for the public, to make yourself known, to establish a relationship. And the 5 creates connection, act as a bridge, new ways, new markets, new customer, new vision, new partnership. But the 5 is also about sensuality. You could have sexual magnetism, The sensuality is accentuated under the number 5. It's about sensuality and passion. The 5 is related to the 5 senses. So there could be a stimulation of these 5 senses: sight, touch, taste, smell. And it might be also a good year to start that tango class you have been dreaming of taking. The challenge is related to number 5. In the search of pleasure, we tend to want to taste many things, experience many things, and therefore we could have the tendency to exaggerate. You could be overindulgent this year, so watch for any addiction you may have. And so there could be tension caused by unexpected changes and events, and flexibility is the key word, and the plan B is the key word. You could have also scattered thoughts and be impatient, because there could be lack of rest, impulsiveness, restlessness. And because you will have the impulse to experiment, to move from one interest to another, you could have difficulties to conclude things or the assigned commitments. The 5 is related to the ADHD disorder, so you could have little attention, especially if you have any other 5 in your chart. And the motto of the number 5 is, I want to be free, and don't put me in jail and don't fence me in. So there may be a certain tendency to run away from the first complicated situation or problems, making choices that could harm loved ones or later yourself. It's about developing the constructive use of freedom. So, time to share, if you haven't done yet before. Let's talk about number 6 and the transition from 5 to 6. So after so many changes, movement and journeys, the restlessness fades, instability is thought, the need to return home and to be more responsible is felt. The 6 require you to focus on your home and family, and the family may require attention. So a year 6 is a year of responsibility, service, and dedication. Let's see in details. 6 is about harmony, love for art and beauty. It's about taking care of people, things, and animals. It's about nourishment, care, teaching. It's about relationship and feeling at home. It's about love, understand how you love and how you want to be loved. The focus will be on family, relatives, parents, children, friends, pets, and about your house. You could buy a house, for example, or you can renovate your home, beautify your home, create harmony at home, arranging the garden, putting plants, beautifying the exterior. There could be also a development of artistic sense. And the 6 is connected to nourishment, so the mother who feeds, and therefore you could rekindle the passion for cooking and cooking with loved ones. You could also be more attracted by fashion, clothes, harmony of colors, and choose clothes and colors that enhance you. The 6 is also a great educator. And the year 6 could be a good year to teach. 6 is about finding balance between giving and receiving, between family and work. And the emphasis will be on balance of responsibilities. The challenges for the 6 are this: The number 6 leads one to focus a lot on others, to teach them, to instruct them, to take care of them, to support them, to help them. Sometimes we might feel drained, tired, and burden ourselves with weights and responsibilities that are not our own. There could be a tendency to avoid others' mistakes or commitments and loading ourselves with their problems, which are not ours, which could lead to feeling tired and unrewarded. And you could give so much help outside that it's hard to ask for help. There could be also guilt senses, guilt for not having done, for not being in a certain way. And the 6 brings also high expectations. It's a perfectionist. And it's good to find perfection in imperfection. The 6 is also the number of choices. In year 6, there could be choices to make to maintain your balance and harmony. And in numerology, it is called the year of marriage or divorce. Am I getting married or should I divorce? In the year 6, there is an evaluation of relationships, flourishing or of relationship or crisis, because 6 needs harmony and it's a number of love. Let's go for sharing. We go to number 7 and the transit from 6 to 7. So the 6 required commitment, dedication to the family or home, because they're taken on so many responsibilities. We give so much love to others. Now it's time to come back to us, to withdraw, to be a little silent and stand alone. It is a year that leads to a wonderful spiritual openness. So it's a year of contemplation, self-awareness, and spiritual development. The question in the 7 is, who am I? It's time to know yourself and to reflect if what you are doing is really aligned with what you want, with what you are. Who am I really? What do I really want? What is the purpose of my life? How can I offer my gift? What path to take to offer my contribution? Anne Paris says that when it comes to 7, I want to go to my cave. So it's a good year for a retreat or request a gap year. It's a time of quiet, silence, tranquility, time to be alone, time to be in nature, to slow down. Keywords are introspection, contemplation, observation, reflection, self-analysis. It's a number of philosopher. It's connected to the archetype of philosopher. It's a year of great spiritual growth. You could also feel the need to listen to great music, the ones that connect us to the soul. In year 7, for example, I made the decision to go on vacation to the island of Malta and to listen to the classical music concert of the International Classical Music Festival every night. I went alone to this island and took long walks on the coastal roads in solitude. So I was really in a year 7. A year 7 could be a year to do yoga, qigong, tai chi, doing, or start meditating. The 7 is also connected to the knowledge. So it's a year to study, deepen, specialize in some area of expertise, or to do extensive researches. It's a number of wisdom that comes from experience. So you may become a little wiser. And it's time to balance logic with intuition. Intuition will be at the highest level this year. It's a year to find your own truth. The challenges related to this number. Some people may decide to metaphorically retreat into a cave, isolating themselves from the world and disconnecting from the world. There might be a tendency to be a lone wolf by neglecting sociality. And there could be excessive isolation and rationalization with the mind, and to feel superior. And to judge others from top to the bottom. There could be fanatism, mine is the only truth. And there is, in the year 7, you could be a lot in the head. So many thoughts, mind in turmoil, so many questions. It's not time to act or make important decisions because they were dictated by the ego. You think from the head and not from the heart. And it's better to take a big decision from September, October, where you can start to feel the next energy. 7 can be an energy that leads to a crisis, which in this year is always constructive. It might therefore be useful to embark on a path of personal growth. It's time to share. And let's go to number 8 and the transition from 7 to 8. Year 7 has helped us to go inside ourselves, to understand what we really want. Year 8 is a year to manifest these understandings. While in year 7, one is more attracted to spiritual matters than to material matters, in year 8, one reevaluates one's personal worth and finances. Year 8 is part of the 3-year 891 of intense work, as I told you before. Year 8 is a year of achievement, ambition, and investment. So it's a year of action and manifestation. There is a desire to accept new challenges and carry out new projects and achieve objectives. The focus will be mostly on money and or on take control of your financial life and on personal empowerment to regain your personal power. You could feel a lot of ambition grow inside you. And it's time to rediscover your own value, to give yourself a value. Did you allow people to treat you like a mat? Reevaluate. It's here to claim your power, to come forward, to get or say no to abuses. It's a year to train yourself to be more assertive and authoritative and strengthen your negotiation skills. Maybe you could ask for a raise at work, and it's time to take yourself seriously and to grow and to take responsibility for your own life instead of feeling victimized. And so it's 1 year to be at the helm of your own life. Could be also a good year to invest because the focus will be on money, to buy a house, sell a house, or to reap the fruits of the seeds planted in the year 1. The challenges about the number 8, there could be over control, and you must be aware of arrogance and greed. There may be the tendency to be obsessed over focused with money and to see only money, especially if you have another number 8 in your chart. You could work so hard to make this money and forget about yourself and loved ones. There could be abuse of power, especially if there are other 8 in the chart. And it's important to respect your own vulnerability and that of others. And you must pay attention during the year 8 to ethics, honesty, integrity of your actions. Always, I remind you to share what happens in the year 8 and your connections. We reach the number 9, the last number. So we go from 8 to 9. So in 8, we focus mainly on your personal, on our personal value and money. In 9, we open up to a greater, disinterested, humanitarian, and generous energy. The last issue of the cycle asks us to start making room for the new that will manifest in the year 1. So what do I need to let go? 9 is a year of completion, purification, and transformation. And how can I let go of what I no longer need to make room for the new? It's 9, it's the end of a 9-year cycle. It's a transition phase where a cycle is ending and the new one has not yet begun. It's a year of comprehension, to take stock of your evolution and better understand the purpose of the test that have been sustained in the last 8 years. It's a year to conclude, liberate, let go, and make room for the new. For distancing yourself from environments or people who tend to imprison you in an unhealthy relationship or that you feel harmful to you. Who do you want to see in the future with you? This is the most important question. It's time to clear your space. It's decluttering at every level. Do you know Marie Kondo, the author of books on how to tidy up the house and live in nicer houses that respond better to yourself? Here, the year 9 invites you to this. So allow things to go in order to enter an exciting new phase of your life. It's decluttering, could be clothing, things, but also at all levels. And the energy of 9s promotes donations, donating what is no longer needed so that others can benefit from it. It's a year of results, the fulfillment of what began in year 1, growing out of our projects. It could be a year of public visibility and travel and artistic expression. And so it could be also a year to rediscover a collective vision of Earth, ecology, union, peace, integrity, selfless actions, volunteering. It's a year to complete. Everything was pending, conclude the dispute, suspension, medical examination. And could be also a year to rediscover your spirituality, to recontact your inner guidance. You might want to go on pilgrimage or a camino, such as Camino di Santiago. Let's see the challenges. Being the year of closure, there may be the impression of having little time. If this happens, you should not make the mistake of speeding up the pace, but rather ask for help. And on the other hand, if you feel you're living a quiet moment, you can dedicate yourself to study, research, or to put on paper what you have learned to be able to transmit it tomorrow to those who need it. There could be an excess of enthusiasm and use balance and maturity of judgment. And they could avoid the dispersion and over-exaggeration. And there could be fear of the unknown and heightened sensitivity. So we reached the end. So in 9, it was cleaned up, the space was made, and we are ready for 1 and new beginnings. And so let's start again. And the cycle continues. In this journey through the 9 number, you had the opportunity to retrace and understand the year just passed. You had a taste of the energy of your 2023. Now you have the tools to deal with it in the best possible way. I find this is this to be a wonderful tool for understanding, even with my loved ones, my partner, my friends. For example, if I'm in a year 7, where I might want to retire to my caves, and my partner, let's say Joe, is in a year 3, where he might want to go out and socialize, I will understand these 2 different needs and not make a drama or a reason for divorce. If I see my son, let's call him Tom, who does not want to study, and I discover that it is in a year 5, the year where you are less inclined to routine and discipline, I will find alternative and more playful methods to make him study. So the applications are endless. And now it's your turn. And I want to thank you. Thank you again, all the participants. And I will be able to read with Ginat all the sharing and to answer any question they may need. I will interrupt the sharing. Okay. Thank you, Gina.
So I invite anybody who would like to, who is listening live to this and would like to let us know what is your personal year and how have you seen it, not seen it. Let's do last year since this year we don't know, right? So just
Pam Hunter, you have a dog in your house? Pam?
I don't see.
No.
She's muted though. I don't know who that is. Pam Hunter, yes, thank you very much. So anybody who would like to do last year's personal number or any year, and let us know how you see that relates to what happened for you during that year. Do we have any takers? Anybody? Pam Hunter.
It's her. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
So what do we say?
Well, we can help you here if no one else is.
There we go.
You not?
Go ahead, Mike, please.
Yeah. Maria and I, we're 9s. So this past year for us was an 8. And it was a big year, this manifestation deal. We took the garden, this big manifestation. We took the garden and we're doing a no-till garden. There was no plowing of the field, and we had put in clover, and we've got clover and we've got mustard now, and the calendula around 15 to 25% of the field, and we're just leaving it there. So that was this is a big, we're reaching the completion, and we're transforming. You see our agricultural perspective.
Wow! Wow! Yes, yes, it's related. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it was really an exciting year, and your presentation made it even more so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Aaron Shenhar writes, my number in 2023, I guess, is 3. In 21, 1. I was moving into a new home after a 3-year plan.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Was 1, new start, new beginnings, new home. Exactly. Yes. And you plan it for 3 years. Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. Transition. Now is a transition.
Good.
Okay. Very good.
For me, for example, as I explained before, in the year 9, I moved from Lombardia, Brescia, to Tuscany. And for me, it was a closure of a cycle, because I ended with my life in Lombardia and moved to Toscana. And I couldn't find a new house in the year 9, but I found my house, my home, in year 1. So yeah, it was a transition, because yes, I went from Lombardia to Toscana in 9, and no house available, only on and temporary. And then my real house I found in year 1. So yeah, I want to. And in year 2, I met my soulmate, my partner. It's about relationship. A friend of mine in year 2, she had her children, so she gave birth. And another friend in year 3 started to make theater. If there is someone else who wants to share something else.
Anybody else? That's so interesting.
Oh, yeah, so.
That's good. Arlene, anything you want to share? Only because I see your picture.
They all are shy.
I think they're all calculating.
Oh, okay. But
Bill, go ahead, Alessia.
and you, Ginata, what year was last year for you?
So
What-
this year is a 7. It means last year was 8.
No, 6. You have to go back 1 here. So this
Okay.
year is 7. So okay, the spiritual growth, about spiritual growth and reflection.
Well, 7 definitely fits for what I plan on coming up. Absolutely, 100%. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I got a phone call just when the one before it happened, so I can't tell. I don't know what that is. I have to listen to the recording.
Okay. So yes, you for sure. Maybe you will have the need to stay a little bit more alone, but don't. It's normal in the year 7 because brings introspection. It's an inward energy.
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm sure you have no problem at all. Maybe you have other 7 in your chart.
I have a
For sure.
2, a person I'm close to who's a personal year 2 this year. So
You have our personal here too.
yeah,
No, the 7, where does it come? The 7?
the 7 is me.
And
The 2 is another person.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So how does the 7 and the 2 fit together?
They are slow. It's a slowing down energy for both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And but the 2 wants to stay a little bit more with the loved one, or with others, and the 7 wants to stay more alone. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Good.
Okay, you know that there could be these 2 energies, and but for both it's good to slow down and be patient. The 2 must be patient also.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about our time, and
Yes.
I don't see anything else in the chat. So that's that.
Okay.
Claire wanted to say something.
Okay, Clara, go ahead.
Yes, I just want to say that at the very beginning, when you were explaining about making the calculations, calculated my day and month and year, and came to the letter 9.
Yeah.
Yes, but you said that the year 2023 has to be added to it, right? Something I didn't understand there.
Okay, you have to add your day of birth, your month of birth, and
Yes.
the current year, 2023.
And not anymore my year of birth.
No.
The year of birth I let go.
Yes, exactly. Only the day of birth.
I
and the
always
month
thought
of
you
birth.
had, I always thought you had to keep month, day, month, and year of birth always together.
No, because this
Okay.
is another calculation to calculate your life path number, but it's not what you are doing.
Okay, so I have to actually do day, month, and 2023.
Exactly.
That gives us a different number. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent.
What you calculated was your life path number. So you
I
already
see.
know your life
I
path
see.
number,
I
which is
see.
another number of the chart. So it's
Okay.
9. And for the personal here, the current year 2023. So you leave your year of birthday. Yeah.
I see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
You can rewatch it, so maybe you can.
So I have to go back to everything you said and
Yes,
and
and do
yeah,
it again. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, then. So it remains for me to thank you, Alessia. It's quite a masterful job. It's, yeah, there's, I know, I feel, I'm sure it's just the tip, just the introduction in the beginning. We could go so far, I know.
Yes, there is a huge.
Yes, yeah.
Three,
This
five,
topic of personal
seven,
number is so interesting.
7 and 9.
Right,
There is
good
Claire,
Claire.
who is calculating.
Uh-oh, I put you on. Claire, I did you, and Alessia, I put you on mute. Can you come back?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Claire was calculating. So
Right. All
yes.
right.
Yes,
Good.
of course. Yes, there could be many possibilities. Also knowing the name, the surname. It's a huge chart with many aspects to look at.
My husband was a great numerologist, and he had charts and numbers, and I mean, he just
I
lived
didn't know.
through it. Yeah, he was really, just like you said, just in love with it, numerology. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Well,
Very
thank
nice.
you again. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much, Gina.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You are really an amazing host and a very lovely and kind person. Thank you. I'm really honored to have worked with you. Thank you very much.
Molto grazie, molto grazie.
Prego.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Ciao, Gina.